Postcards from the Plains.
Sending you love from the heartland.
Planes flying over plains, as here in Kansas. Man, you can see them from way out. You can just follow them. But I do know what it's like to be a farm girl experiencing plains, living on the plains. Welcome back to another episode of Postcards from the Plains, sending you love from the heartland. Ka-chink! Yeah, I tried to do the CB radio deal. It didn't work that well, but anyways, I'm so glad you're here joining me today. It's going to be a great episode. I can already feel it. But anyways, before we start, I do want to say thank you so much for being here with me on my journey. If this is your first episode, I recommend you go back and listen to the other ones, the previous ones, just as so you get to know me. If you have been one of the loyal followers that has listened all along, I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, please let me know what you think of these episodes, if there's any improvements you could think of, or any ideas for future episodes. Drop them in the comments, or can you do a DM here on YouTube? I don't even know if you can do that. I'm not great at this whole YouTube deal, but anyways, let me know some way, somehow, any future ideas, whether it's about farming, life as a girl out here, or just something random. I'll come up with something good. I would love to share my experience with you. Alright, now we took care of that housekeeping. Today I'm talking plains over the plains. Alright, no pun intended, although it does sound very good. Plains over the plains. So I'm talking to planes, airplanes, flying over plains, as here in Kansas. So one of the things that makes it very interesting is that here on the plains, well, the name says it, it's open sky, open land, as far as the eye can see. As in, you can see 360 degrees. I don't know how far out you can see, but it's pretty far out. And when you got planes flying over here, man, you can see them from way out. You can just follow them, almost from where they took off until they disappear. And they're just flying in all sorts of directions. Some are flying lower, some are way up there in the sky, you can barely see. And then some are getting pretty close to land. So that's pretty cool how I can see that, because out here there's no buildings, mountains, skyscrapers. Unless you count the grain elevators, which are the skyscrapers of the plains. But nah, they don't take up that much space. Not like the big cities like New York City, LA, Las Vegas, all the big towns, Albuquerque. I imagine you can't see the plains as well. But out here, yeah, you can see. And they look very little. They look very much like the pictures, because I've never seen a plane in real life. Only from far away, but I've never been on a plane, never been to an airport, so I've never seen them up close. I've seen them getting close to land in the big city, but they look exactly like that, except very little. And I don't know why this surprises me so much, but it does. And it's really cool to see. Which leads me to my second point. As the planes are flying, they're leaving a trail. And it's not smoke, but it's some sort of exhaust. And it looks white. Sometimes, if there is not a single cloud, you can see the whole trail from horizon to horizon. And you can see as it's coming out of the plane. Okay, from here it looks very thin and wiggly, but depending on the atmosphere, sometimes it starts to spread out, almost like oil and water. It'll just kind of spread, or no, grease. So I'm using a farm example here. If we got some oil in the water bucket, well, it's not going to mix, but it's going to give it that purpley, silver, shiny look, and kind of spreads. That's the way it looks. It's just spreading. Sometimes they stay very thin and crisp, but then sometimes they spread out. And you can see they're moving across, almost like a cloud. They get to a point where they're just very thin and wispy, and they could very much be their own cloud. So it's very interesting. And then sometimes the planes aren't leaving a single trail. They are just not. Why do sometimes they look like they're leaving a trail and sometimes they're not? I haven't Googled that yet. That's on a to-do list. Or if you know, please let me know in the comments. I would love to find out. I'm always willing to learn something new. And those trails, if they get very wispy looking when it's sunrise or sunset, they also get the light. And they hit it just right because they almost look like the clouds. They reflect light just like that. And they do turn to purple, blue, pink, salmon color. It's really cool to see because sometimes they look like the X in the sky. And yes, that X is glowing. It's actually very beautiful. A while back, I did a short, I think it was The Beauty of Kansas Skies, or I don't know what the caption was for sure, but it's all just pictures that I took of the Kansas skies, different sunsets, sunrises, or just clouds, and a few of those pictures are actually the trails from the plains. And you can see they're kind of wispy looking. They don't look like clouds, but they kind of do. So yeah, the trails, they are very interesting. And then I also want to get to the way they sound, the noise they make. So when planes are flying over, if they were directly above me, I wouldn't hear anything until they've moved further along. Then it's like a rumble. I wouldn't say very low pitched. And it's interesting because it doesn't always sound the same. And I'm wondering if that has to do with the atmosphere as well. Sometimes it's very high pitched, or not very high pitched, but it's a high pitched, quick sounding rumble. And then sometimes it's more of a lower tone and slower sounding. I actually don't know if this is making sense, but that's what it sounds like to me. Okay. But that the sound only comes until after they've moved past me. And this is very different from the big cities. Because I've been near an airport, sort of, and man, they just sound so loud. First time I heard, I thought something was happening. The building was collapsing or something. Like, yo, I'm a farm kid and going to the city. Man, we do some funky things out there. You can tell right away we don't belong there. But anyways, I was very young and I got a little scared. But you could see the planes. They were flying real close. A little too close for me. They weren't that close, but shoot, man. I had never seen a plane. That's kind of shocking. But yeah, anyways, I'm pretty sure noise has to do with somehow the speed, because I don't know how fast planes fly. I just don't get into commercial planes that much. All the knowledge and whatnot. That's not something that really fascinates me, so I don't know all the facts. But I do know what it's like to be a farm girl experiencing planes, living on the plains. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for today's discussion on planes over the plains. Another episode of From Postcards from the Plains, sending you love from the Heartland. Like always, I invite you to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who you think would really enjoy it. Maybe you want to send it to someone who lives in New York City and doesn't know what it's like to experience a plane on the plains. Yeah, so please like, comment what you thought. If you got any ideas for future episodes, I would love to hear them. Oh, and let me know if you've ever been on a plane or if you live on the plains as well and can relate to any of this. Or if you're thinking, yo, this girl's a little souped up and I don't know what you're talking about. I want to hear that too. I always love to hear back from you. But anyways, that's it for today. From Postcards from the Plains, sending you love from the Heartland.
Postcards from the Plains.
Sending you love from the Heartland.